of? Where are you from?
It's a digital magazine called True Cowboy Magazine, and it's about raising awareness of the plight of the Mustangs and burros. But I do it in a bit of a fun way because I want to present the Mustangs with hope and beauty as opposed to all the doom and gloom that's going on. So it's kind of Maxim Goes West. Got beautiful pictorials of Mustangs, wonderful stories of Mustangs and the people they love, all the good that the horses are contributing to the planet, as well as a beautiful pictorial of a wonderful horsewoman that's doing something with the horses. So it's like that, and it's working. Where the app is #1 in 7 countries. I get emails from around the world that people had no idea there were wild horses in America, and I'm like, come on over. Get over here. You want to see some real live wild horses? And really, every move that we make these days the only way we're going to change is fiduciary. I mean, this is what our government responds to. This is what corporate responds to. So if every one of us decided not to eat meat anymore, really, seriously, pass the hamburger, skip the bacon, you can imagine the financial impact that would have on the cattle industry. It would definitely buckle them at the knees to start. But really, if there was a huge national, there's I think there's no meat Mondays. Well, how about just no meat, period, And then, people that industry would go, oh my God, we're really hurting now. Now what do we do? We're going to have to change up industries here. I went to a thing in last January, called the Summit of the Horse, and it was about, helping the horses again. But it was all cattle ranchers, and all they wanted to do was just slaughter them. So that's a big proponent, is the cattle ranchers.
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. So let's get your name and what it is that you do, and then I'll ask you some questions about the film.
My name is Laura J. Hearn, and I'm a retired jockey, and for the last 8 years I've been fighting for the rights of horses. That's what I do now. That's all I do now.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, how did you guys become a part of the film? How did that come about?
I was doing some research online, trying to find out who I could get a hold of that had a little guts and a little bit of teeth to sink into this situation, because we need so many more people involved in equine advocacy, and there's just not enough of us. And I work on the racetrack, around the racetracks, and I was a jockey for a lot of years, and I never realized how divided the horsemen are on this subject, because the horsemen don't even know. I mean, I'm talking people they work in this industry day in, day out, and they know nothing about slaughter. They know nothing. I mean, they really don't know what happens to their horses. Once they leave the racetrack, they're gone. I mean, that's it. They don't think about them anymore, and they need to know what happens afterwards. And when I found out about horse slaughter, I mean, wow. I mean, it blew me away. And I just found out, like 2004, 4, and I was shocked. I mean, I cried for like 3 weeks. I couldn't stop, and it was, how do I get involved? What am I going to do? And when I found Katya in 2008, I found her online doing research, and I said, well, gosh, I love what you're doing. I saw her website, I found it, and I said, I love what you're doing. If there's anything I can do to help you, to help the horses, holler. She hollered, and I'm helping.
That's great. That's great. How about you?
How about me? What?
How did you get involved with the film? Well, Saving America's Horses. How did you get involved?
The film. I grew up with horses. I was in the horse racing industry for years. We owned race horses. I knew, we'd personally have to put down some of our older horses too. So I knew about death and everything with animals. But what I didn't know was the method of slaughter, just the word slaughter, the method that they kill them is brutally brutal. I mean, there's this bolted thing. When that doesn't work, they just start knifing them in the back, ripping open their spines and cutting their cords and just letting them bleed out. The people that are involved with this are just evil, 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 evil. It's a human condition. You won't find it amongst animals. So I've been involved in horses, animal advocacy, horse rescue for years and years and years, which propelled me to start the magazine. And as you get into a group of people of like minds, you all start talking and meeting. And Katya called me and she said, "Would you like to contribute to this film?" I was like, "Heck yes!" I own a retired racehorse. She was a racehorse for me, Black Type and Stakes Place, and I took her off the track. She was a she's a fabulous horse. I took her off the track because of the cruelty and the stupidity at the racetrack. No offense.
No offense. Oh no, believe me. I've seen plenty of stupid people at the racetrack.
Yeah, and I got offered probably about 2 weeks ago now. I got a call from a thoroughbred breeder, bloodstock agent they're called. He buys and sells racehorses, and he offered me $50,000 for my horse to be as a broodmare because her family's going nuts.
Right.
Mocha Express family line.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I said, no, sorry, I'm not. She's not for sale. She'll never be for sale. No. And he's like, $50,000. Tell me you couldn't, $50,000 wouldn't go astray right now. I said, of course it wouldn't go astray. But first of all, there's no breeding in this family. Me, my animals, no breeding. I said, secondly, they wanted to ship her to Australia. No. Out of sight, out of mind, out of the country. No. She'd go to slaughter in a heartbeat.
So how can people get more informed, and how can they help?
Well, SavingAmericasHorses.org, TrueCowboyMagazine.com,
Right.
ReturnToFreedom.org. I mean, there is a multitude of organizations, and we've all actually come to know each other and start to commingle ideas. There's a big, the International Equine Conference is happening in Maryland, I'm tempted to say. Did they move it to Virginia? I think it's Virginia now. In September.
I think it is actually Maryland. I think they're back to Maryland again. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me.
Dan Burton's involved. Mary Lynn Drew is involved. The more we can back our government officials that are pro horses, pro animals, pro humanity.
Anti-slaughter.
Ken Salazar, gotta go.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Definitely gotta go. And I swear to God, there's got to be some dirt that somebody should drum up on this guy. There's got to be like hookers, cocaine, there's got to be pulling wings off of flies.
Got to be a way we can trap him.
Got to be something that this guy. Believe me, a person with that kind of evil intention is not a clean person. He's hiding something. Somebody needs to find it out, and pull it. And now what do you want to do, So I mean, that's always a good way to dead agent evil people, is to just get them out there, But the thing is, the only way it's going to change is if we as a population agree to change it. That's it. And a world population agree to change it. If we all stopped eating meat, if we all stopped abusing each other, if we all stopped stealing from each other. I mean, in the end, let's face it, he who dies with the most toys is still dead. So money doesn't matter. The only thing that money's great about is freedom coupons. It allows you to get things done, But to manipulate the system and people and the nation just most recently by holding us hostage because of money, fucking, downgrade the credit. Who cares? What are we going to buy a house? I don't think so. It's like this country isn't even ours anymore. It belongs to Europe and Asia.
You got that right.
It's like we need to take it back and cut it out and grow up and face reality. It's not about who's got the shiniest car or the biggest house or the biggest diamond ring, It's about what are we leaving behind? What are we doing? It needs to be about
community is what it needs to be about. Word of mouth is the best way to spread any news. And if all of us, if everyone here told 10 people, and they told 10 people, and they told 10 people about this film is going to change the way people look at horses. It has to.
Well,
it's one of the only things that can. This film will reach so many different areas across this country, and it needs to. This film is it's an important film. It really needs to be seen everywhere. Everywhere. Because it's not only about the horses, it's about, it's people. It's about the way we treat each other, too. Yeah. It's not just about that. When they say, look at our future, words like Soylent Green come to mind and Clockwork Orange when I think about stuff that's going on in America today. And those were films that were a little bit nuts. But you know what? I look at those and I think about, they might not have been so much off their mark either. When I think about stuff like, we hope not. But, but maybe. Because things are getting pretty crazy in this world, and we better stop and say, hey, wait a minute. Enough.
It's another, we keep saying these words like getting crazy. It is crazy. It's here now.
You're right, it is.
It's not getting anything.
Yeah,
it's
but
here
I'm getting
now.
crazy, though.
Well, that's fine. And the thing that's running out is time. That's the commodity that we don't have a lot of restocking on. And I swear to God, there's maybe 19,000 horses left in the wild, maybe less.
There's less.
There was millions, and you saw the film, you saw all the land. Just drive from here to Sacramento. There's land everywhere.
There's land everywhere, and there's
How
forage
stupid are we?
and forage.
So, but again, it's people like Katya and people like Michael and Netta that really grab the horns, grab the bull by the horns and say, let's change this, let's do something, Dan Burton's involved, as I said, now Mary Lynn Drew. There's some bigger political characters getting involved now, so that's important too.